Welcome back, focused learners. We are jumping right into today's explainer. Look, if you've ever stared at a folder just crammed full of scattered research, unread PDFs, and endless bookmarks, wondering how on earth you're going to make sense of the whole shebang, well, this explainer is exactly what you need. Today, we're figuring out what exactly NotebookLM is, what you can do with it, and how Google's tool transforms messy, chaotic data into incredibly structured, usable knowledge. Okay, let's be honest for a second here. We've all been there, right? You're doing research for a project, maybe a thesis or just a deep dive market analysis, and suddenly you are literally drowning in open browser tabs, downloaded PDFs, and YouTube links. The modern pain of information overload is super real. I mean, the struggle isn't really finding information anymore, is it? The real struggle is synthesizing all that complex research without totally losing your mind in the process.
So, enter NotebookLM. But I want to be absolutely clear right out of the gate. This is not just another generic AI chatbot that you ask random trivia questions to. No, NotebookLM is a source-grounded virtual research assistant. And that hyphenated phrase, source-grounded, that is literally the entire secret to why this tool is such a massive game changer. It means it only knows what you teach it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We are going to hit 1. Meet your assistant. 2. Feeding the machine. 3. Generating magic outputs. 4. Building a pro workflow. And finally, 5. The real limitations.
Starting off with Section 1, Meet Your Research Assistant.
So, the magic under the hood is something called RAG. That stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Basically, when you upload a document, NotebookLM breaks it down into thousands of tiny, manageable chunks. Then, when you ask a question, it retrieves only the relevant chunks and generates an answer based strictly on those pieces. This architecture is entirely designed to prioritize factual integrity over creative guessing, which drastically prevents those infamous AI hallucinations we've all seen.
And you know, this brilliantly illustrates the difference. On the left, a standard generic AI basically uses the entire open web. It acts like a know-it-all, which means there's a really high risk it might just invent a fact to please you. But on the right, we have NotebookLM. Think of it exactly like taking a closed book test. You hand it a stack of notes, and it is physically incapable of looking outside that stack to answer your questions. Best of all, every single claim it makes comes with a clickable citation right back to your exact documents.
Moving on to Section 2, Feeding the Machine.
The input flexibility here is just incredible. I mean, you start off by adding resources from the internet, right? You can upload your standard PDFs and Google Docs, sure. But actually, you can also just paste a YouTube URL and it will seamlessly ingest the transcript. You can upload MP3 and WAV audio files, standard web pages, and with that big update, even Microsoft Word documents and structured Google Sheets.
And to put the sheer volume of data you can feed it for free into perspective, it's staggering. You can upload up to 50 individual sources per single notebook, and each of those sources, they can be up to 500,000 words long. That is an absolutely massive capacity, letting you build a highly dense, customized knowledge base from basically anything you find.
Which brings us to Section 3, Generating Magic Outputs.
So you've uploaded all these resources. Now what? Well, this is the feature that made everyone's jaw drop, audio overviews. NotebookLM will take your dense, dry research papers and turn them into a dynamic, super engaging conversation between two AI hosts. They banter, they connect ideas, and they essentially create a custom audio show directly from your sources. You can even interact with these hosts in real time, guiding their conversation to focus on exactly what you need to learn most.
But wait, it doesn't stop at audio. As of the March 2026 update, we now have video overviews. This takes your notes and sources and literally transforms them into documentary-quality, cinematic visual narratives. It's powered by Google's Nano, Banana Pro, and Veo 3 models. So you aren't just listening to your research anymore. You're watching an immersive, generated explanation of it. It's wild.
Now, for the students and lifelong learners out there, check this out. The April 2026 update transformed this platform into a total powerhouse study tool. With just one click, it generates flashcards and quizzes directly from your uploaded materials. And it's not just static text either. It saves your progress across your devices, lets you shuffle the deck, and even tracks your mastery so you know exactly which concepts need more review.
And if you're more of a visual thinker, the Studio panel can instantly generate mind maps, infographics, data tables, and complete slide decks. You can even export these directly to a PPTX file to use straight in PowerPoint.
Now, while these visual tools are incredibly fast and super helpful for getting a high-level view of your resources, they do have a few quirks, which we will definitely cover in just a moment.
All right, Section 4, Building a Pro Workflow.
Let's move to and see how this actually builds into a chronological user journey. First, you gather and add resources from the internet, maybe an unfinished draft, a YouTube link, and a few PDFs. Second, you ask the AI to generate a summary table to map out the big picture and spot any gaps. Third, you chat directly with the documents to stress test your ideas. And finally, you generate your study materials like flashcards or audio overviews to reinforce your learning. It's just a brilliant, complete ecosystem.
And power users are leveraging these specific features to keep things perfectly organized. The Deep Research tool acts as an autonomous web agent. You just give it a topic, and it actively hunts the internet for high-quality sources, builds a report, and imports it for you. Plus, as of April 2026, once you hit 5 sources, the system's auto-labeling kicks in. It groups similar documents together and assigns emojis so you can visually navigate your sidebar without ever getting overwhelmed.
But let's keep it real. Section 5, the real limitations.
First off, NotebookLM keeps your knowledge in isolated silos. Your biology notebook absolutely cannot talk to your chemistry notebook. If you need cross-notebook knowledge mapping, you'd have to use an alternative tool like Atlas. Furthermore, there's no public API, and you cannot record live audio directly into the app. If you're a student wanting to record a live lecture and instantly turn it into notes, a tool like NotebookLM handles that, whereas NotebookLM requires you to upload an already existing file.
So the crucial point is that you still absolutely need human oversight. The generated mind maps, great, but they are static. You cannot click and drag the nodes around to reorganize your thoughts. When generating those slide decks, the image AI sometimes hallucinates weird visuals. For example, one user noted it generated a picture of an old audio cassette tape to represent the concept of highly directed instruction. Kind of funny, but not very useful. And while it cites its sources perfectly in line, it won't automatically format your bibliography into strict APA or MLA formats.
But hey, despite these limitations, I think this quote from Steven Johnson, an author who actually helped build the product, sums it up perfectly. He says, simply put, NotebookLM is a tool for understanding things. It's not a project manager. It's not a do-everything, all-in-one workspace. It is a highly focused, immensely powerful engine for synthesis and comprehension.
And that leaves us with the ultimate question. What will you understand next? Now that you know exactly what NotebookLM is and how to turn a massive mountain of messy tabs and PDFs into personalized audio shows, flashcards, slide decks, and cinematic videos, the barrier to learning complex topics has literally never been lower. So go grab some sources from the web, spin up a notebook, and see the magic for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and keep learning.